very flattering stats or record. I mean, that's not meant to insult him, but he's probably not the same quality as as I would prefer to use to demonstrate a strategy and use for an AC. But I figured if I just posted those 2 reps, not only would it perhaps be too short if I did an AC on those 2 reps, people would say, well, what about facing Demon Hunter? So the next game I played against a Demon Hunter user that was not a friend of mine, because I don't want to do an AC on a replay against a friend of mine. That's not cool, right? Unless they piss me off. So I decided to do it against the next Demon Hunter user I played, who just happened to be him. Anyway, please unpause the replay in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. As you can see, I spawned on the far left. He spawned on the top. He asked where I'm from, and I'm not going to respond because, unlike Night Elf and Undead players, I actually have stuff to do in the beginning. I'm microing my peasants, and I don't chat until I have 5 on mine. I figure why that's like 50 gold. I'm not gonna pay 50 gold just to chat with this person, right? Probably more gold than that. It's probably like 100. So think about that. When you're talking to someone before you got 5 on mine and you're not microing your peasants, you're paying for it, man.
Ready to work.
Anyway. Oh, totally lost my spot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just some things, people. I guess on my last day, people think I whine about Night Elf too much. Dude, for the most part, I'm just playing. This game is as balanced as it's ever going to get. And although there are some changes I'd make, and I do think some things about Night Elf are too strong, I think their staff is a little bit too good. I think that's probably the foremost thing on my mind. Bears may be a little bit too strong, but I know that Night Elves really are dependent upon bears in situations against undead, and even then they don't seem good enough. So it's hard to make adjustments to this matchup that could have dramatic effects on other matchups for the negative. And, on the highest level of the game, it seems that Night Elves and humans go pretty 50-50. I mean, Sky doesn't always beat Night Elves, and Night Elves don't always beat Sky, and the same goes for Todd and all the other top humans. I scout him, I scout him. I see he's going Demon Hunter this game. And instead of just bringing my peasant back, I go to build a farm by his expansion. This way I can see when he goes to creep his expo, and it'll help me know if he plans to expand or do something weird at any point of the game. This game I brought 3 militia along to creep that green guy, because I found if I creep it with only 2, my water elemental takes enough damage to allow him to kill it with a single detonate. So instead I've been using 3, or you can move back if you use 2, move back the water elemental and let your militia take some damage. That's another alternative to avoid losing the water elemental to just detonate. I'm just trying to get level 3 and avoid getting mana burned. So I'm going all the way over the map. As you can see, I used my militia to creep that camp, and I used my footmen and water elementals to creep this one. And I'm bringing my 3rd foot and my AM to come creep this last one. His archer sees me here, though, so I figure he's going to be bringing his demon hunter here pretty soon. So instead of creeping this, once I kill this archer, I end up going to his green camp. Once again, I would like to stress the importance of not just attack and clicking when you're trying to hunt something down. Move and then attack it. This game, I'm facing a Demon Hunter user, and therefore I am going to get boots eventually, because if you don't get boots, either your Archmage or your Naga is going to die at some point if he's worth his salt. This game, the rifle push wasn't so reactive. I was just like, dude, I finally got a Demon Hunter user. I'm rifle pushing. And even so, I've been rifle pushing almost every game against Night Elf. I mean, not necessarily pushing, but I've been going rifles, and in a lot of situations, doing pushes to either take them out or slow them down. so it's not too out of character for me. I see he's got boots, and therefore I'm going to go buy boots and dust myself. One thing to think about too, that this isn't necessarily so important in the matchup, but I do control, especially throughout tier 1 to tier 2, what trees my peasants are chopping down. And I know there's some people that may sound a little ridiculous, but I try and make them chop down such trees, or harvest on such trees, like say against Orc, for example. If I can, if I think it's possible, I try and make them chop down such trees that all have room to fit my shop in 2 sanctums behind my town hall, which can really help a lot, because getting either your shop or any of your sanctums destroyed while they're going up is really a nuisance, or even after they've gone up. Once again, I tried to move and then attack him, and I also tried to come off at a point. I didn't think I'd be able to kill him, but I lost sight of him, so I give up on that. Anyway, back to the harvesting thing. It's not that much of a problem. I mean, you just, during a boring point of the tier 1 to tier 2 game, you just look back quickly at your peasants and try and spread them out so that they're chopping down different trees, so that when those trees do go down, it'll give you some room to build some extra stuff back there. So it's something I think's worth considering. I don't know if pros do it or don't do it or not, but it's helped me out, man. I've been able to fit a lot more stuff back there since I've been doing it. One thing I wish I would have seen that I went and did that then, but I guess I missed it. But I sent my militia out to buy my Naga because I was back in my town healing, so I couldn't really buy it with my army. But when I went to buy it, your hero comes out, when you buy a hero from a tavern, if it has room, it comes out in the same spot each time, which on most maps seems to be the bottom left corner. That seems to be true on Echo Isles and on this map. So sometimes, at least I faced occasionally, a little nifty trick that Night Elves do, where they build their archers in a circle around that bottom left corner, so that when you buy your Naga, it's instantly surrounded. They hide the archers, obviously. So when I went to buy it with the militia, I ran my peasant through that bottom left corner to see if it was being obstructed. Obviously, if my peasant moved around in a circle, I would know that the archers were there, and I'd wait, and I'd bring my archmage with its dust and start killing archers. Once again, I bought my militia. I saw he was there, and I know I have frost arrow, so I figured with the assistance of militia, I'd be killing a few archers. Now I'm definitely down for the push. I mean, hey, he's 3 archers poorer, and I'm doing pretty good. For you Night Elf players that face the rifle push, one of my main suggestions, especially on this map, perhaps even solely on this map, is to most human players, when they're doing the rifle push, don't like to use militia too much. Like, they aren't going to creep something big like a goblin lab. They may, but they don't want to sacrifice the tech and have the chance of losing peasants. So they usually do the kind of green camp creeping that I did. So in my opinion, instead of trying to chase me down and get mana burns on me, the most annoying thing to do is buy a Staff of Telly on your DH and keep annoying my peasants. Keep forcing me to call to arms, and when I some my lumber peasants, and when I do pull back, and just keep doing that repeatedly and trying to pick off militia and stuff, because this build is pretty lumber sensitive. I don't have once I hit tier 2, I have just about enough wood to make my Naga and build an Arcane Sanctum. So when I'm forced to call to arms quite a few times, or even if I lose a couple of peasants, it sets me back a lot, and it really hurts. So I think harassing peasants against someone who's creeping far and doing a rifle build is pretty effective stuff. I knew day was coming up a little bit early, but I saw I was very close to level 3 on my Archmage and level 2 on my Naga, and I know that a level 2 Water Elemental and Forked Lightning can make the difference when you're doing a push, so I decided to creep that Goblin Lab and get that. I knew it would give enough EXP. One thing you probably didn't see is I picked up an intelligence tome with my Naga. I think you should be pretty diligent about which heroes you pick up what with your tome. I got lazy. I just picked up the intelligence tome with my Naga, but it'd be better for my Archmage since it gives him 2 additional damage. As you can see, I did get early sorceresses this game because he went DH. He has a melee hero. So every time it gets close, I manually slow him until I get like 4 or 5 sources. I do not ever put autocast slow on. I manually do that stuff until I have so many sources that I can just autocast it. So I was just doing that every time we got close, slow, focus fire, etc. That game I brought peasants. The game against the Dark Ranger, I did not bring peasants with me because when he has a level 3 Dark Ranger, 4 peasants means 4 level 2 Skellies in my book. Against other heroes, almost every other hero, whether it be Beastmaster, Demon Hunter, Warden, I think peasants, well, not actually that's not true. If they have like a level 2, if they have high AoE, like level 2 Fan of Knives or level 2 Breath of Fire, I probably wouldn't bring peasants, but most of the time it's pretty effective. Game 1, I did bring peasants with me, I believe, against the level 1 Panda to help assist the push. It adds some meat, and if you need to, you can build a shop or build a tower. It creates some obstruction. It's a good thing to do. And once you have up your Sanctum and your rifles, and your long range upgrade, you aren't very lumber dependent. Another thing I forgot to mention, it's so hard to remember to mention everything, is that once I get a few rifles, about 3-4 rifles, I get 1-0 on my rifles. Because at about that point, it's adding enough damage to the point where it's almost like another rifle, but less expensive. But the easiest way, if you have a hard time trying to remember when to get upgrades and when not to get them, just when you're at 50 food, right before you break low upkeep, spend cash on items, upgrades, whatever you can, just things that benefit you, but allow you to stay in no upkeep and avoid those dang taxes of low upkeep and no upkeep. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, guys, and thank you very much for the comments on my last audio commentary, at least thus far from the ones I've seen. Once again, my last audio commentary just got released yesterday, so yeah. So thank you guys very much. Most of them have been very nice comments and very complimentary, which I really honestly didn't expect. So thank you guys, and hopefully they are helpful to you, and hopefully you guys do keep enjoying them, and I still enjoy them enough to keep making them. Okay, thank you again for listening. Take care, guys. Happy gaming. Good luck, you human players out there, and bad luck, you Night Elf players. No, good luck to everyone. Take care. Bye.